They say justice in America is blind, that it is equally applied to all those under the law, whether rich or poor, black or white. Yet, some of us know better, and this is our story.
Yeah! There you go!
Listen.
There they go! Yeah, baby!
On August 17, 2021, outgoing Governor Andrew M. Cuomo granted me clemency, and on September 9th, 2021, I was finally released from prison after serving 24 years, 7 months, and 9 days since I was 17 years old.
Yeah! After 24 years, the man's out, free, got his freedom back, man. We just welcome him home, man. We just want to show him some love. Lo, what's up, Lo? Yeah. Until freedom, baby. Yeah!
And there you go. Until freedom. And just like that, I was home.
I can't full of love cause I'm kitchen cuffed. If I ever go broke, I'ma stick it up. My pocket's too heavy, can't lift them up.
Please go easy on me tonight. Tri-City, take it easy on this heart of mine.
Upon my release, it would be UFD and working with the youth that became my main priority.
A peer mentoring group in Albany is working to point youth in the right direction away from violence. It's called Ujamaa Fraternal Dynasty, or UFD. It's founded by Dontie Mitchell. We've shared his story on CBS 6. He was incarcerated for 24 years and granted clemency by former Governor Andrew Cuomo. CBS 6's Emma Quinn sat down with the members Mitchell has mentored to discuss why they say the program needs your support.
I've done more in this month, and I want to say that I've done it for a couple of years, just from being in this little program.
And that's LTG King, who will become like a son to me. And what he's talking about is the many opportunities that he was able to reap from being involved in UFD. This included being on a television show, On the Move with Miss Tony.
Tune in to On the Move with Miss Tony, Monday, April 18th. With our very special guest.
My name is Dontie S. Mitchell, better known as Mfalme, Dontie X Sikivu.
Special appearance by Obima Boy King, up and rising model and influencer.
And landing a brand ambassadorship for Until Freedom, a social justice organization headed by Tamika Mallory, my son, and their team. He would wear, model, and sell their clothes and get paid doing so. And I would take him to New York City to pick up those items of clothing and to bring back to Until Freedom the money he made minus his commission.
Working to better themselves and the community, members of the Albany-based UFD organization are aged 15 to 22, coming from different backgrounds and walks of life, all hoping to make their community a better place.
I hope that this program can get to the kids before they start joining gangs and doing stuff like that. Because once you already kind of start doing it and you get your mindset like that, it's kind of hard to change their mind.
For UFD, I wasn't even taking basketball seriously. I just wanted to be in the streets doing dumb stuff.
The mentorship work that UFD does for youth in the community is similar to what was done for me and other youth in the community when we were young.
He basically came home, took my head out the streets, and put my head right where it needed to be. In the books and basketball.
When I was still living on Northern Boulevard in Albany, New York, there was an older gentleman by the name of Carl Baxter. But Carl took an interest in all of us that were part of a little clique. It was a clique of us, a clique of young boys that when we got together, it was all about mischief. We were stealing, fights. We were going across these malls, raiding the stores. We were fighting. Every time we were in the community, we just created mischief. And it was like maybe 10, 15 of us.
Before, I used to never go to school at all. I used to run away, never go to school.
They do stuff with us, and they try to keep us out and shit. Cause like, we just be doing dumb shit.
But Carl took an interest in us and started paying us attention. He used to take us to different places, like Thatcher Park to go swimming, took us camping, took us horseback riding, took us go-kart, he took us to Great Escape. He did these activities with us, and as long as we were doing these activities with him, we weren't getting in trouble.
But now that he came home, I started living with him. I was school every day. He used to come to my grandpa's house, get me, take me to Dunkin' Donuts, straight to school.
That's right, I remember that.
That's right. He was taking me to school. Make sure I got there, make sure when he was back, he used to pick me up from school, come chill with me for a little bit and take me home.
So, I thought to myself that, wow, maybe that's what's necessary, that's what's needed. The programs that are out here in the community today don't really create enough of an opportunity for the youth to do fun activities and other activities that interest them with adults that are actually going to supervise them, because there's not enough funding for that.
But not all this work and mentorship can be done alone. The group has a GoFundMe page and are hoping the community will help donate time and resources to allow the group to grow.
The funding that we do is only for you. Like, if you live around here and you funding us, you only funding us so we can give it back to the community. That's all this is about.
Ujima, Salamu and Dubu Juma Piendo.
You would think that all this positive work I was doing in the community would be rewarded with a groundswell of support from community members, other youth advocates, City Hall, the police, parole, and state legislators, considering the violence that occurs among the youth and how UFD was showing promise in capturing the attention of the youth and redirecting them down a more positive and constructive path.
The city of Troy is mourning the death of another teen, another life cut short due to gun violence. Police say the shooting happened around 7:30 last night. A 16-year-old was shot and killed. Wednesday's shooting came just hours after a shooting at a high school in Buffalo, causing the governor to put out this tweet saying that gun violence is a public health crisis and that victims of gun violence deserve action, and, quote, they will get it.
Really upsetting to me is only after an incident occurs where youth gets shot and killed, where all these politicians, from the governor to the mayor to state legislators and city council, begin to clamor about the need for change and for there to be a difference made in the community. But then when you see the actual results of what they're saying, they're not putting their money where their mouth is.
This shooting comes nearly a month after another 16-year-old boy was shot and killed and another injured in Troy near River Street. Assistant Police Chief Stephen Barker with Troy Police say the ages of these recent victims are shocking to the community.
You guys feel like UFD has been supported by the community? And if y'all don't, what do you think that the community could do to better help UFD?
Alright, so I think that the community hasn't been so helpful because everybody does want us out the streets, but they don't want to invest time, money, and all that other stuff into it. So you say you want us out the streets, but like, you're just talking.
Yeah, they're not giving you
anything. You're not giving, you're just talking.
To keep you out of the streets.
Yes,
and that's what UFD is.
Yeah, you're just talking. You want everybody out the street, but you're just talking.
Now, I'm not trying to say that I'm anybody special. All I know is that while I was incarcerated from 17 to 42, I learned a few things about my history. And one of the things that I learned was the New African Creed. And there's a precept in the New African Creed that says that I believe that the family is more important than the individual. And that I believe that the community is a family, and I will work to make this concept live. So we've heard before the idea that it takes a village to raise a child. I believe in this wholeheartedly. And as a result, when I see these kids in the community
I don't see strangers. I see my community. I see my family, still our kids, and we have a responsibility to them. So when these things happen where our kids are not being properly directed, it's incumbent upon us who are conscious of our history and our past, and who are conscious of the struggle that we are going through as a people in this country to step up. So I came out my pocket and I spent the majority of my time doing this work. Doing this work and trying to help the kids is vital. It's more important than anything. We've been talking about the violence that's been going on in the communities, in our communities in particular. You know, the poverty, the injustices for so long. I mean, my entire existence, there's always been issues where Black and brown communities have had to struggle to make anything happen that was meaningful and positive, because the economic resources just do not exist for us to be able to do more for ourselves and our children.
He's come out of his pocket. It's not money to help. He's come out of his pockets, like his money, his pockets. It's not people helping him. It's coming his own pocket. Mad money on us. He's the only person really trying to get us out the struggle.
So the little that I can do, the little that I have done, it's significant to the kids that I work with, and they have shown tremendous growth, and they have shown tremendous strides as a result of what little I have been able to do. Just imagine if we were to multiply what I've done by 10 or 100 or 1,000. I came to the community and asked the community just to donate $5. People can only donate $5 and make a difference. If 1,000 people, 2,000 people, 10,000 people were only to donate $5, that would be significant compared to what I, as an individual, have been able to expend on my own, helping these kids and seeing the tremendous impact that my small contribution have been able to do.
Everybody's saying that they want us out the struggle, but they know. He's the only one.
He take us out to eat. He do stuff with us.
Of 3, Joanna Blunt has a 15-year-old at home. She says more needs to be done by the community to protect our youth from a life of violence.
I believe that there should be way more programs than it is for these children to go and hang out instead of hanging out in the streets. I just believe more people should be involved. It's really the only way.
Organizations like UFD, something that 16-year-old Jaquid Goodall from Troy is a part of. He says the program has given him opportunities to be successful in life.
So that's why we're trying to get UFD out there so they can be surrounded by the positivity. Like, so they can join the UFD wave before they just drown to the streets for, like, it's no love in the streets.
The organization's founder, Dontie Mitchell, tells me he's currently funding his program mostly on his own dime. He says there needs to be more investment in organizations like his to keep kids out of trouble.
And even though we have all this talk from the community and community leaders and business leaders about ending the violence, it doesn't seem like anyone is really responding. This organization is having an impact in keeping them off the streets and keeping them on a positive path. You know, but the community, even though we have reached out and asked for assistance, investments, donations, hasn't really responded the way that, you know, I thought they would.
The community, they're not even trying to help. They just speaking. They just think they're speaking.
They're just talking,
but they're not even really trying to help us.
Yeah, add on to that, he paid for photo shoots, he paid for gas, because he using his car to take us to the complex and take us out to eat, studio time, studio time. Right, video, all that.
Congressional candidate for the 20th District, Justin Shares, is also a supporter of the group. He told CBS 6, seeing the members grow and focus their energy in a positive direction is why he believes UFD is needed everywhere.
They're talking about just their socioeconomic growth. To me, is the most amazing thing, where they start to see that outlet beyond just these city walls and city's limits, right? The big message is we need to donate and we need to support this, and it needs to happen on multiple levels.
I'm the leader and founder of UFD, the Ujamaa Fraternal Dynasty, aka Obima.
Despite the positive work I have been doing in the community, including having the young members of UFD volunteering their time to help even younger kids, I still end up getting arrested by the Albany Police Department and spending 21 days at the Albany County Correctional Facility, but not for hurting anyone, not for any other reason, but because I was accused of feeding a 12-year-old child whose mother kicked him out her home months ago, but she didn't want me to continue having contact with him or provide him with any help or support because she wanted him sent back to juvenile detention. I opposed this kid's mother and wanted to send him back to juvenile detention because I know how doing so wouldn't teach him anything, but rather induct him into the pathway of higher criminal education. Eventually, I was released from jail.
That's how we work.
We got that cool.
So, I was released after the temporary order of protection was vacated, as it was illegal. The Albany County Family Court did not have legal jurisdiction to issue the temporary order of protection against me. Plus, there was no legal basis for why the 12-year-old in question needed to be protected from me. He calls me his father because that's the role I have been playing in his life. Despite all that, parole has placed a special condition on me that effectively prevents me from doing the work with the youth I have been doing. So, if I continue to do youth advocacy and mentorship work and helping young people market their skills, talents, abilities, and ideas so that they can earn money pursuing their goals and dreams, which is my area of expertise and the basis of my livelihood, parole, not the police or the courts, can send me back to prison.